The last meal Michael Jordan ever ate as a Chicago Bull wasn't at some fancy restaurant. It was a cheeseburger and fries at Murphy's Diner, served by a waitress named Linda Martinez, who had no idea she was making history. She was just trying to get through another double shift so she could add a few more dollars to the mason jar hidden in her kitchen. The jar where she'd been saving every tip for 8 years to send her daughter to college. When Michael learned about that jar 20 years later, what he decided to do would change both their lives forever. This isn't just a story about basketball or fame. It's about a mother's love, a daughter's dreams, and how sometimes the most important victories happen $1 at a time. It was 1:30 a.m., and Murphy's Diner was nearly empty. The neon open 24 hours sign buzzed outside, casting red light through the rain-streaked windows. Most of Chicago was either celebrating or crying. The Bulls had just won their 6th championship, and everyone knew it was the end of an era. Michael Jordan sat alone in booth 12, his usual spot when he needed to think. He'd been coming here after games for 6 years, drawn by the quiet atmosphere and the fact that nobody bothered him. Tonight felt different, though. Tonight felt like goodbye. Rough night? Michael looked up to see Linda Martinez approaching with a pot of coffee. She was in her early 30s, with kind eyes and graying hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. Her uniform was wrinkled from a long shift, but her smile was genuine. "Something like that," Michael said. "Just the cheeseburger and fries tonight, Linda." "Coming right up, hon." Linda had been serving Michael for years, but she never made a big deal about it. To her, he was just another customer who tipped well and didn't cause trouble. She treated him the same way she treated everyone, with respect and warmth. As she walked away, Michael noticed something different about her tonight. She seemed tired in a way that went deeper than just working a double shift. When she brought his food, he decided to ask, "You okay, Linda? You seem, I don't know, stressed." Linda paused, surprised. Most customers didn't ask about her life. "Oh, it's nothing serious, just, you know how it is. Always something to worry about when you're a parent." "How's Sophia doing?" Michael had heard Linda mention her daughter over the years. Linda's face lit up despite her exhaustion. "She's incredible, just finished her sophomore year of high school, straight A's, wants to be a doctor." "That's amazing. She must get those brains from her mom." Linda laughed. "I hope she gets more than that from me. College is expensive, you know. I've been—" She hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. "Can I tell you something?" Michael nodded. "I've been saving every tip I get for Sophia's college fund. Every single dollar. I keep it in this old mason jar in my kitchen." Her voice got quieter. 8 years now. I work double shifts, take extra hours, whatever it takes. That jar is going to get my baby to medical school." Michael felt something twist in his chest. "How much have you saved?" "Almost $18,000. Linda said it with pride. "It's not enough for 4 years, but it's a start. She's going to be the first person in our family to go to college." They talked for another 20 minutes about Sophia's dreams, Linda's hopes, and the sacrifices single mothers make. When Michael finally got up to leave, he pulled out his wallet. "Keep the change," he said, laying down a $100 bill for a $12 meal. Linda stared at the money. "Mr. Jordan, this is too much." "Put it in the jar," Michael said simply, "for Sophia." As he walked out into the Chicago night, Michael had no idea he'd never see Linda Martinez again. The Bulls dynasty was over, and so was his regular late-night routine at Murphy's Diner. But he never forgot about that mason jar. Michael Jordan was scrolling through his phone during a flight to Charlotte when an Instagram post caught his attention. It was a graduation photo, a young woman in a cap and gown, beaming with pride. The caption read, "From diner kid to doctor, thanks to everyone who believed in my dreams, especially my mom who worked 3 jobs to make this possible. Hashtag first generation, hashtag med school, hashtag proud daughter." Something about the girl's smile seemed familiar. Michael clicked on her profile. Sophia Martinez, MD. His heart stopped. Sophia Martinez, Linda's daughter, the little girl he'd heard about all those years ago at Murphy's Diner, had become a doctor. Michael spent the next hour scrolling through Sophia's posts, piecing together 20 years of a life he'd missed. High school graduation photos with Linda beaming in the background, college acceptance letters, medical school struggles, residency celebrations. But as he dug deeper, Michael's excitement turned to concern. The recent posts told a different story. Sophia was doing her residency at a free clinic in Chicago, working with underserved communities. Her mom was still waitressing, now in her 50s, still working multiple jobs. One post from 6 months earlier made Michael's stomach drop. "Mom's been hiding her health problems from me, but I found out she's been rationing her diabetes medication because she can't afford it. She spent her whole life taking care of me, and now it's my turn to take care of her. Medical school debt is crushing, but family comes first. Some dreams have to wait." Michael immediately called his assistant. "Patricia, I need you to find someone for me. Linda Martinez, probably still in Chicago, likely still waitressing. Drop everything else." It took Patricia 3 days to track down Linda Martinez. She was working at Tony's family restaurant on the South Side, pulling double shifts just like she had 20 years ago. Michael drove to the restaurant on a Thursday afternoon, his heart pounding with anticipation and worry. Through the window, he could see her, older now, moving slower, but still serving customers with that same warm smile. When he walked in, the lunch crowd was thinning out. Linda was wiping down tables, and when she looked up and saw him, her face went through a series of emotions: surprise, recognition, and then embarrassment. "Mr. Jordan, is that really you?" "Hello, Linda. It's been a long time." She looked around nervously, suddenly self-conscious about her worn uniform and the simple restaurant. What are you doing here?" "I came to see how Sophia's doing. I saw her graduation photos online. Medical school? You must be so proud." Linda's face lit up despite her obvious discomfort. "She's amazing. Everything I dreamed she'd become." Then her expression clouded. "Though things have been difficult lately." Michael gestured to a quiet booth. "Can we talk? I mean, when you have a break." Linda glanced at her manager, who nodded. She sat down across from Michael, her hands fidgeting nervously. "Linda, I know about Sophia's posts, about your health, the medication, her debt. I want to help." Linda's face flushed. "Mr. Jordan, we can't accept charity. We've always made our own way." "This isn't charity. You remember that last night at Murphy's? You told me about the mason jar." Linda nodded, tears forming in her eyes. "That night changed something in me. I've never forgotten about you, about Sophia, about that jar. You were working 3 jobs to save every dollar for your daughter's dreams, while serving me burgers at 1 a.m. That's not something you forget." Michael leaned forward. "I want to ask you something. Do you still have that jar?" Linda smiled through her tears. "I kept it even after Sophia graduated high school. It's empty now. Every penny went to her education, but I couldn't throw it away. Too many memories." "Good, because I want to feel it again." Over the next hour, Michael learned the full story of Linda and Sophia's struggles. Sophia was $200,000 in debt from medical school, working at a free clinic because she felt called to serve her community, but barely making enough to live on. Linda had developed diabetes 2 years earlier, but was rationing insulin because Sophia's residency salary wasn't enough to support both of them. "She doesn't know how bad things are," Linda admitted. "I don't want her to worry. She's got enough stress." "Linda, what if I told you that worrying was about to become a thing of the past for both of you?" Before Linda could respond, the restaurant door chimed, and the young woman in scrubs walked in. Michael recognized her immediately from the photos. Sophia Martinez, exhausted from a long shift at the clinic, coming to check on her mother. "Mom, you forgot your—" Sophia stopped mid-sentence when she saw Michael Jordan sitting in the booth. "Sophia," Linda said quickly, this is Mr. Jordan from the Bulls. We knew each other years ago." Sophia approached cautiously, clearly confused. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Jordan. Mom, are you okay?" Actually, Michael said, standing up, I was hoping to meet you too, Dr. Martinez. Your mother told me about you years ago, when you were in high school. She was so proud of your dreams. Sophia looked between Michael and her mother, trying to piece together the connection. Your mom used to serve me at Murphy's Diner, Michael explained. She told me about a girl who wanted to be a doctor, and about a mason jar where she saved every tip to make that dream come true. Sophia's eyes widened as understanding dawned. You're the customer who used to leave the big tips? Mom mentioned you sometimes, but she never said it was me, Michael finished. Your mother is a humble woman, but I never forgot about either of you. And now that I see what you've both accomplished, he paused, I think it's time to have a real conversation about your futures. An hour later, the three of them sat in Linda's small apartment kitchen. On the table between them sat an old mason jar, empty but still bearing the faint smell of the hundreds of dollar bills that had once filled it. This jar, Michael said, picking it up carefully, represents something I've never seen before. Pure sacrifice, pure love, pure determination. He looked at Sophia. Do you know what your mother did for 8 years? Sophia nodded, tears in her eyes. She worked herself to death, saving for my education. More than that, she worked 3 jobs, slept 4 hours a night, and put every single tip, no matter how small, into this jar. She didn't buy herself new clothes, didn't go to movies, didn't take vacations. Everything went toward your future. Michael turned to Linda. And you raised a daughter who became a doctor, who chose to work in a free clinic serving the poorest communities in Chicago. You didn't just save money for her education. You taught her to use that education to serve others. He reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. This is why I'm here. Not just to help, but to honor what you've both accomplished. Michael opened the envelope and pulled out a check. Sophia gasped when she saw the amount, $250,000. This pays off your medical school debt, Michael said to Sophia. All of it. Before either woman could respond, he pulled out a second envelope. And this, he said, handing it to Linda, is for you. It's enough to cover your medical care for life, plus a fund that will pay you the equivalent of a full-time salary, so you never have to work 3 jobs again. Linda was crying too hard to speak. But that's not all, Michael continued. I'm establishing the Linda Martinez Foundation for first-generation medical students. It will provide full scholarships to kids from working families who want to become doctors and serve underserved communities. Sophia was shaking her head in disbelief. Mr. Jordan, we can't possibly. Yes, you can, because this isn't charity, this is recognition. Recognition for what your mother sacrificed and for what you're choosing to do with your life. Michael picked up the mason jar again. I want to make you both a deal. I want this jar to stay right here on your kitchen table. But instead of you putting money into it for Sophia's dreams, I want other people to put money into it for other kids' dreams. He smiled. Every month, families from the neighborhood can bring their spare change, their tips, their savings, whatever they can manage, and put it in Linda's jar. And every dollar they contribute, the foundation will match 10-to-1 for local kids' college funds. Sophia was crying now. You're creating a college fund for the whole neighborhood? Your mother saved one daughter's dreams in this jar. Now we're going to save hundreds of children's dreams the same way. 3 months later, Linda Martinez walked into Tony's family restaurant for what she thought was her regular shift. Instead, she found the entire place decorated with balloons and a banner that read, "Thank you, Linda Martinez, Community Hero." The restaurant was packed with people she'd served over the years, co-workers, neighbors, and Sophia's colleagues from the clinic. At the center of it all stood Michael Jordan, holding a microphone. 20 years ago, Michael began, Linda Martinez told me about her dreams for her daughter. She showed me what real sacrifice looks like. Today, we're here to celebrate not just Sophia's achievement, but Linda's extraordinary gift to her community. He gestured to a display near the entrance. Linda's original mason jar now sits in the lobby of the Linda Martinez Community Health Center, which opens next month. Sophia will be the head physician, providing free medical care to families who can't afford it elsewhere. The crowd erupted in applause. Linda was crying again, but this time from joy. But the best part, Michael continued, is what's happened to the jar itself. In 3 months, this community has donated $15,000 in spare change and small bills. With the foundation's matching funds, that's $150,000 for local kids' college dreams. He looked directly at Linda. One mother's sacrifice has become an entire community's inspiration. Sophia stood up from her table. "I want to say something about my mom," she announced. The room fell quiet. "For 8 years, I watched my mother come home exhausted every night. I watched her count tips and put them in that jar. I thought she was just saving money. I didn't understand until I was older that she was saving dreams." Sophia's voice grew stronger. "My mom taught me that serving people isn't just a job. It's a calling. Whether you're serving food or serving patients, it's about caring for your community. That's why I chose to work at the free clinic. That's why this new health center means everything to me." She looked at Michael. "And Mr. Jordan, what you've done isn't just changing our lives. You're showing everyone that success means lifting up the people who lifted you up." Today, the Linda Martinez Community Health Center serves over 5,000 patients annually. Dr. Sophia Martinez leads a team of physicians who provide free care to families throughout Chicago's South Side. The mason jar in the lobby has collected over $200,000 in community donations, providing college scholarships to 47 first-generation students. Linda Martinez, now officially retired from waitressing, volunteers at the health center and manages the scholarship program. She still lives in the same neighborhood, but now her diabetes is properly managed, and she's pursuing the nursing degree she dreamed about for 30 years. Most importantly, the story of Linda's jar has inspired similar programs in 12 other cities, proving that one mother's sacrifice can spark a nationwide movement. Michael Jordan visits the center regularly, not as a celebrity donor, but as someone who understands that the most important meals aren't served at fancy restaurants. They're served by people who care about more than just taking your order. The last meal Michael Jordan ate as a Chicago Bull was served by a woman who was quietly changing the world one tip at a time. 20 years later, that woman is still changing the world. She just has a lot more help now. And in a kitchen in Chicago, an empty mason jar sits on a table, no longer collecting money, but still collecting dreams. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is save up enough hope to change not just one life, but an entire community. That's what happens when ordinary people do extraordinary things, $1 at a time. At the health center's 1-year anniversary celebration, Michael raised a glass of coffee, the same coffee Linda used to serve him at Murphy's Diner. "To Linda Martinez," he said to the gathered crowd, "who taught me that the real champions aren't the ones who score the most points. They're the ones who serve others, sacrifice for their families, and save their dreams one tip at a time." He looked at the mason jar display, now surrounded by photos of scholarship recipients and grateful patients. And to that jar, proof that the smallest contributions, made with the biggest hearts, can change everything. The crowd raised their glasses, and Linda Martinez, former waitress, current community hero, and always a mother who believed in dreams, smiled the same warm smile she'd been sharing with the world for over 50 years. Some victories are measured in championships. Others are measured in the dreams you help come true, $1 at a time. If this story inspired you, remember that every tip you leave, every kindness you show to service workers, every small gesture of respect, it all matters. You never know whose dreams you might be helping to save. Like this video if it touched your heart, and subscribe for more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The heroes aren't always the ones in the spotlight. Sometimes they're the ones serving you coffee at 1 a.m. and quietly changing the world.